I'm the chair of the Block Island Housing Board, and I am going to call this meeting of the Block Island Housing Board on August 26th at 4 p.m. to order. Thank you for joining us. The first item on our agenda is public comment. And I don't see anyone in the audience, so we'll move on. Second item is to approve the minutes of July 22nd and August 7th. There were two meetings this month because we had one special meeting with the architects. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? So I have one point to make, and that is that on the meeting with the architects, we had some suggested action items. Some required a member of our audience, and we hadn't had that yet. That was getting some legal counsel on common walls in buildings like this. And then some others were reaching out to modular bidders that I haven't completely followed through yet on. And there were other issues associated with architectural details of the buildings, which we can still move forward on. But just with that in mind, all in favor of approving those two sets of minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next agenda item is, say again? Okay. Well, she won't miss this bit. Review and approve the financial reports. I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports. Any discussion or questions?
I think we should have a discussion with finance in the near future, just to see, I would say within the next month, to see what our interest rate landing target is probably most likely to be.
Okay.
Imagine it's going to be dropping to the 3.5% or something like that, but it would just be good to know that.
Okay. Do you want to lead that, Chris?
Sure.
Okay. I'll make a motion for Chris to lead a discussion with Department of Finance to talk about interest rate projections going forward.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks. Thank you, Cindy. We get by the easy stuff before you get here. So, okay. The next item on the agenda is
I'll make a motion to approve the reports. What you wanted?
Mark made the motion.
Oh.
and Rosemary
Oh, we did.
Sorry,
seconded
we
it.
just didn't
Just
get a
need a
vote.
vote.
Okay, thank you.
So all in favor of approving the financial reports?
Aye.
That's okay.
Okay, so the next item is the introduction of Karen Browning, our new legal counsel. Karen is here with us. She came in person this time. Most of the time, I think, unless there's a very serious issue, she will be on Zoom with us. Karen, you met Chris. Do you know Rosemary? And Cindy Pappas? And me, Mark McGuire, and Millie and Keisha. Yeah. And two of our board members, Josh Red and Shannon Cotter. Does she go by Cotter?
Carter Marsala.
Okay. Okay. They are not here today. I suspect they're probably school vacation or vacation before school starts. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. And we will, I think, keep you busy off the start. So, yeah. So, we're in the process of starting to build 8 buildings with 16 units in it. And we haven't made final determinations on configurations as regarding sales and rentals, and we'll need to set up condominium associations and that kind of thing. I think we have some templates for that already because we've done it in the past, but we'll really appreciate your input as we go forward. Yeah. Great. Anything else you want to? Great. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's usually me on Zoom saying to do that. Thank you, Millie. Yes, for those of you that don't know me, I am also the planning board and the zoning board solicitor. I have a law firm in Newport. The firm is Destel Browning Law, and we practice land use, real estate, commercial and residential developments, and also environmental law, and have been doing it a long time. So happy to be here. I'm excited to do some work with you, and I am available anytime. You should have my email, and you can always call the office, dial my extension, and I'll get right back to you, whatever you need.
We'll add that Ms. Browning was critical, very helpful in our ad hoc group for rewriting affordable housing ordinances, which are complex and convoluted, and she greatly helped us organize us into something that I think was a lot better than what we started with. So she has a lot of experience in this area just through that practice alone. So I expect that she will be of great value to the Housing Board.
Love hearing it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Okay, our next agenda item, exciting. It's to announce the logo contest winner. So Chris, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Do we need like Brian?
Should we go to the first session?
For those of you in the audience, we're going to have a new website soon, and we had a logo contest for the website. And so this is the unveiling of the logos that were in the contest.
These are the 3 top choices voted by the board without me participating. So we are going to have to write these people, I think it's 200, 100, no, 150 and 50 or something, a total of $200 in cash to these people. No business stepped up with anything to add to this. So the Block Island Housing Board first logo by Kelly Case is our winner. Second choice was Spider Slomans, and third choice was Jose Gallegos. And we had, I think, 13 entrants. And I'm working out with our website designer that we are going to put all the logos up in a separate page as part of community building. So we recognize the effort that people put forth just to participate in this. And so giving people 2 weeks to pretty up their draft logos, and they will go to our website designer. And tomorrow I will release the winner to Visionary so they can start including that on the web pages.
Chris, to write a letter thanks to everybody that did submit, or has that already passed?
I have been BCCing everybody via email in the communication, telling them, it's closed, we have a winner. I've been getting a fair number of emails about who is the winner, telling people that you have to wait. And so I think maybe an email would be nice, but if it was from the Housing Board, it would definitely be better than just coming from me.
I'm happy to draft an email and we can send it out. I can, if you provide me with all the entrance emails, that's proper. Yeah, I'll send that out.
It's very funny because people submitted under one email address, but I mean, it was a person's name at something, whatever, but their name was totally different. So it's very confusing. I went back and I checked. I said, "Is this you?" "Oh yeah." So I'm like, okay. So I've got. So I have all that for you.
Thank you. So that's great. I love it. It's yep. Terrific. Okay, agenda item number 6, which I think we also have some progress on, is a mechanism for accepting donations through our website. So Chris, I'm going to hand this one over to you too.
Okay, this is much more complicated than I thought, and I think it's because we're trying to be thorough. Mona held her line. it really went out far and beyond what I expected and gave me a list of three nonprofits that, three companies that take nonprofit, specialized nonprofit donations. So then I went down a rabbit hole by looking at those and somehow got involved with a company that vets these nonprofits. So two turned into about 8. And today I just got like a phone call from the 5th one. So here's the situation. Visionary had recommended PayPal, not knowing of these other ones that Mona had uncovered, and then subsequently the ones I uncovered. And in this process, we find out that these other ones outside PayPal may have monthly fees. Their percentage take may be 0, but they do have a monthly fee. And one, for example, that I've looked at is about $120 a month. So that's $1,440 a year just to have the platform. So PayPal, I found out from Visionary, just takes a higher percentage, but has no monthly fees. So I need to do this again, this is only in the last few days. So I need to do a summary sheet of each company, what it would cost us, first of all, to have a subscription with them, and then what their take would be. It's going to range anywhere from 0 to 3%. So we have to assume like what's our dollar volume in donations going to be, and we are not stuck with our choice. That's for sure. Chris Crawford, the former town manager's husband, gave me a name of one of the companies that Mona had given me, and he was very complimentary of that company. That company basically lets donors donate, cover the cost of the donation. So you probably have seen that if you've donated through websites. So that's a business model for several of them. So it's premature for me to say we have one. I'm just telling you, we have to be aware that there could be a budget item necessary for this. And I don't expect it to go above $1,440 a year to start. But I would like the board to give me some feedback now, if they can, as to what their feelings are about a subscription fee that is $1,440 annually.
Historically, we haven't received a lot of donations, financial donations. And maybe we haven't because we haven't asked for them consistently. So that could be, one thing. But perhaps the PayPal model for the first year is not a bad way to go to see what our volume would be, because I think it's almost impossible to project, what kind of donations we would get.
Right.
So PayPal for the first, 6 to 12 months. And then if it turns out that people are really utilizing it, then it would seem, more appropriate to try to figure out the cheapest, most cost-effective way to figure out which company is best.
I think that's reasonable. I don't, it turns out this is the one, PayPal was what Visionary recommended immediately. And I was like, I don't think so. I wasn't really sure. I didn't know about any of these other companies. I thought there'd be better options, but that's me being unskilled in this area.
I'm thinking from the consumer, like if I were the other person, and I feel like donating today, PayPal, I already have it set up. It's easy for me to go. My card's in there. If I have to go and find my wallet and put my card in a new one, I'm probably not going to do it. So PayPal people are already set up with.
Okay.
So that's one of the, I'm just trying to think from the people that are doing it. If they're
Yes,
walking
like,
by
that's
something and they
good
have a
point.
conversation at a restaurant or having a drink, that housing is something, they can just go right on their PayPal. Their card's already in there and they've done it. and it's not having to enter and, put in your name.
Create an
and-
account or-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm fine with PayPal. I'm sort of biased against them because they spam me so much and what have you, but I'd be fine with that too. It would be interesting to see maybe if you just cull it to like the top three that sort of balance the cost to us, the
Yeah.
cost of processing a transaction.
Yeah.
And one of the things I worry about, and this is where PayPal, probably exceeds everyone else, but people, me, are sometimes hesitant to give their information to a platform they're not really familiar with.
That's what I was thinking too.
So,
Especially
so
financial.
that might be a factor as well, like the how well-known the platform is. I don't have any file on that, but anyway, that would be important to someone like me.
The other two that caught my eye were the ones that Mona had recommended, and I went through those before I got inundated. But one is called Zephy, I think, and the other one is Give Butter. New to me, but those were, and then they recommended, she found Stripe, and I know Stripe is from personal business experience. We don't want to get involved with them, I don't think, compared to these other companies. So I wiped Stripe out. And so we have those three and a few more. I'm going to be getting phone calls from these people. And I think the question for me is going to be, what are the annual fees? So we can do a calculation.
Yeah, that's,
I think if we combine, the ease of PayPal and maybe some other one comes along, but what
Yep.
Cindy says, then we can judge
Start.
the volume. Like if we end up getting $10,000 from the donations and then we're paying 3%, then maybe it's more feasible for us to pay the monthly fee next year.
If
Yeah.
there was a foot. Yeah.
But it is easier. I mean, and PayPal does protect your money. Like I've gotten money back from scams that, I've paid for and they
Okay.
give it back to you. So, I mean, I don't think everybody has a great, not every PayPal is PayPal, but I'm just saying for the ease of doing it. And like Mark said, I wouldn't put my card into something I didn't know.
Yeah, it turns out the main web designer, president of the company, has a nonprofit. He runs, and he uses PayPal.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he recommended it. But I then read in a footnote that if you are a 501c3, which we are, the rate goes from 3% down to 1.99.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, there's a lot, we could start with that. I could just tell Mr. Bramwell, let's start with PayPal.
Yeah.
But I will do the due diligence with these other companies. So at least we have a reference if we
Mhm.
want to change.
Yeah.
All right. So can I go forward on that?
Yes.
Okay.
We need to make a motion.
no. I don't
We'll just motion.
know. We'll just nod in Chris's direction.
I did want to mention another thing about this 513, if I may. The discussion of 513s and should they be on our website. Visionary was having a really hard time with what I developed, and I understand it was too much information. It doesn't look good from a web designer's svelteness and communication. So we've come up with a compromise that the 513 process that I wrote will not be on the website other than as a document you can access, and it will have the hyperlinks all through it for all the town ordinances. So it won't be blasting you on the webpage. It'll be like a deeper dive. If you want a deeper dive, this is how you can do a 513.
Like I click here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually came up with an AI generated 513 discussion on affordable housing. Unfortunately, it referenced the Blog Island Times and it had a lot of mistakes in it. So, however, it's amazing, but but it was a much cleaner format. Your eyes won't glaze over from it. So at least it's a good template to start from. Right. So this was a big bugaboo with Visionary and me trying to get this going. And then I just came up with this idea. It's like, hey, let's just make it a document, get it off the discussion table. So that's what we're going to do.
Great. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. That's a lot of work.
Okay, item number 7 is the O'Brien Affordable Housing Development. I'm going to use the chair's prerogative to rearrange the bullets under there, and we'll talk about fall construction activity first. Um, we did approve Bain to do work to run the sewer and electrical and water onto the site. As you will recall, there were some issues in the spring, and so we needed to defer some of the work to the fall. I've been in touch with, I don't want to have a redo of what we did in the spring. So I've been in touch with Jim Jeremiah and Dylan Chase and Mike Shea, and we're coordinating the proper schedule on that to make sure everything is in order, including with our engineers, GM2, so that everything is in order and all the materials on site so that they can proceed and they have a well-defined schedule. So that will move forward. One of the things I want to consider for a future meeting, not now because I don't have it to present, but how much further do we want to go? I don't know that the fall planned work will consume all of our grant from the infrastructure bank. But the good news on that is we did get an extension on the infrastructure bank grant until March 31st of 2026. So that's in place. So we do have some time, but we will want to use that. We don't want it to expire, so we will want to have a plan for what else can we do in terms of roadways and quote unquote infrastructure for the site.
Mark, do you have a sense of how many dollars we're talking about roughly?
I think it'll be in the neighborhood of only
What's left?
what's left after Bain finishes the planned work in the fall. I think will only be in the neighborhood of 25 to 50K. So it's not a ton.
Just thinking, one item to discuss would be maybe the retention ponds.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of discreet
Mhm.
and, well, they're not really discreet.
The rain
but
gardens?
They're to the side
Yes. Yeah.
and away from anything else that we would be doing.
Yes.
So that might be a way to
Okay.
blow
Yeah.
through that money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's to blow through that money is a good idea. We need to use it. We don't want it to go to waste.
I think when we're talking about this, it makes me think like maybe we do talk about phases and prices in the phases, because maybe we could start other things with, not the grant money, just our money. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe we could get closer and closer, and then when we get to the end of where we, need a big chunk, maybe it's not, 7 million, 8 million, maybe it gets down to 5 because we've already done these phases of things where we have the money,
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I think some of the other things I want to discuss, I hope to get forward. I hope to start moving forward on the whole project
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have some issues to discuss, but I think we should discuss those and act on those
Yeah.
and move out as soon as possible.
Yeah, go to the next phase from here and
Yeah.
talk about how much it's gonna cost
Yeah.
and see if we can just go for it.
So that's the update on the fall activity. So let me, go ahead.
In addition to the retention ponds, since the roadways are defined, usually they put a utility road in, which requires some work. They don't do the finish thing until we're done, but that defining the roadway
Yes.
could also be done, I think.
Yeah, I think we should sit down and do phases and see what.
Yeah, and also running all of this stuff, so the power and sewer and water is just into the site. It's not distributed within the site. So that's also something that can be done.
Maybe, I think they want the foundations and the holes in first.
Well, that's
Yeah.
another thing, the
Before you-
foundations,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So all that's good to talk about as we move forward.
I don't know if everybody had a chance to see the stone wall.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stone wall looks great.
Yeah.
Looks really
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
really nice. And Mike Shea's happy with it.
Good.
It might help with our donations too.
Yeah.
People see stuff's going on, they're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have
So
an extra $10,000, maybe I'll give it to them.
And that being said, we could maybe get a couple of, once it's moving again, get a couple of pictures on the website.
Yeah.
Chris.
One of the things I've been thinking about, and this is a completely an aside, I'd like to put maybe a little sign up to talk about the,
Yeah.
if,
We
if,
talked about that.
yeah, to talk about the people who donated the land and how it came about and if they're amenable
It's
to
a
that.
pretty
I mean,
active area.
yeah, people, it would just be interesting for people to, yeah, to people to see that.
It could be a code that they scan to donate.
Yeah. Oh,
QR
great
code.
idea. Great
Could
idea.
part of our infrastructure be creating a crosswalk from our site or between our site and sort of
The playground, yeah.
and the playground
Yeah,
with, a legal
Yeah.
traffic stop?
Yeah,
I'll talk to,
Yeah, that's a state road, so that would have to be something that the town council would act on, assuming, and then present it to State
state.
Road Commission, and then they decide whether
Yeah.
they will approve that or not, or if they want to go.
I mean, they just did one on Corn Neck, right?
They
a couple
did,
years
they
ago?
did one on Corn Neck, yeah,
Yeah,
but there is a process, that's all I'm saying.
yeah.
okay.
So it's not impossible.
Could we, could we first just approach the town council then to see if they would?
I can send a letter to the
I
town
think
council.
it makes
requesting
sense
that.
even just for
Sure.
Paul
Yeah.
O'Brien,
Yeah.
because there's kids, cross
Yeah.
back and forth. there, which is
Absolutely.
nice. And from
Yeah.
the, West Side 20. and-
Okay.
So it'd be good to have a safe crosswalk there.
I will, I'll do that. Okay, the next one I wanted to talk about was the architecture and the configuration, specifically the 3-bedroom concept. So I sent out a sketch, or maybe Keisha sent out a sketch of what Eleanor and Thea came up with as a concept for turning those 2-bedroom units into 3-bedroom units. This was a discussion we had at the last meeting with the architects. And the question is, should we pursue this?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't really understand.
So I think I think she's taken a bedroom from each of the units, sort of combined that space
Oh,
and
okay.
turned it into a 2-bedroom and a smaller. So one is a 3-bedroom, one's a 2-bedroom with a smaller bedroom.
So the wall shared is just moved over.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that makes sense.
So the question is this something we want to?
A 3-bedroom?
Yeah, do we want to pursue a 3-bedroom or keep it the way it is? And again, Cindy has made a good point, has made good points at the architecture meeting and in the past meetings that maybe this is something the modular folks should have input into because we want to keep expenses down and they may have something that's already suited to this. But at the meeting we did with the architects, we did talk about this. And so this is the concept that they shared with us and I wanted to share with everyone.
How many 3-bedrooms are we talking about?
That's completely up in the air. We don't know. I mean,
And does it obviously takes away from any 1-bedrooms? Or would it be
there is no 1-bedroom,
bedroom?
right?
Okay.
There is no 1-bedroom.
Just 2 and 2 only.
But with the small bedroom, with the 2-bedroom and one of them being small, it could be a bedroom and an office and.
I mean, are we still going in for sale and rental? Right?
Well, that's
Because the 3-bedroom is going to be a better sale.
so I'll rely on, yeah.
I mean, it's going to cost more, but it's going to be a better first, then you can really vision a family buying it.
We're having a community-wide discussion.
September 13th.
September 13th.
And this is probably a great topic to have discussed at that time. About how many people really are looking towards rentals and how many are looking towards purchases. But we would have to have some budget numbers
Yeah.
for people, because otherwise they really couldn't weigh in with any knowledge.
You mean prices? Yeah, I mean, I think we had that at the town meeting and I don't think we've really moved from that, but we need to solidify that for several reasons. One of the things I want to talk about next is bank financing to close the gap and whether we're going to do that approach or whether we're going to do the approach of build half, sell, and then build the other half. So that's a key question. And any bank that we're going to approach is going to want to know those details before even considering us. So these are all questions that we need to decide in relatively short order in the next 2 to 3 meetings. I think
Okay.
we need to determine whether we're going to do sales, rentals, sales, what the bedroom configuration is.
When's our next meeting?
Our next meeting is in late September, which I am not going
Late
to be.
September.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at.
I probably won't be here either.
Yeah, when is it?
I have to work in Seattle.
Date of
Okay.
next meeting is September 26th is coming to mind, but
I'll be away.
so then
Res-
we might not have a, yeah, September
I'll be
23rd.
gone.
Well, how about if well, it's right around the corner, but are we ready for the September 13th meeting? Maybe,
Well, so
like, we need a meeting before the 13th?
So the intention on the September 13th was just to essentially rehash what we said at the town council and to get feedback. So I don't think there's a lot to prepare for. And I was just gonna talk, and then be there to answer questions, and anyone else is welcome too. It's kind of an open forum. They have it designed to have, someone intro housing on the island writ large. And then the housing initiative is going to be there. We're going to be there.
So why don't we try for the 16th, right after that meeting? That seems like that would be.
I will be gone
You'll be
then
gone
too. I will be gone right after that meeting on the 13th for the rest of the month.
All right, then we just have to move to October.
Go to October.
Okay.
Skip the meeting for September.
So, are we able, can we do this on the fly here? Have a motion to reschedule the September meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. It's me. Well, proposed dates, do you still want to keep it Tuesday? That would be on September 30th or October 7th.
September 30th is I'm not here. I'm back on the 2nd.
So October 7th then?
When's our October meeting scheduled?
October,
End of October.
October meeting, October is the 28th, our regular meeting. Okay, all right. So anyway, the intent is to try to move forward with some final decisions so that we can initiate discussions either with a bank or plan to do the half and half approach. Also to set sales prices, set rental prices if we're going to have rentals. If we're going to do rentals, we'll need some input on what it's going to cost us to have an organization who manages the rentals, because I don't think it's going to be any of us doing that. So we'll need some input on that. So I would like to, by the end of October, I'd kind of like to have that stuff nailed down,
Oh, that's right.
just to give people a feeling.
There's a town council meeting on the 7th at 4, which I will be at.
Well, we don't have to have it on a Tuesday.
No, we can do the,
I mean, it's a little bit easier in the fall for all of us, right?
want to do the 8th?
Planning's at 4 on the 8th. Land trust is on the 9th.
Can we do the 8th and do it in the smaller room?
Sure, yeah,
Is that-
absolutely. That would be conflicting with planning, if you feel the need to be, to attend. Are you going to be attending every meeting?
As needed. So I don't know if I'm gonna put planning meetings for this, but that's
Yeah.
not.
What do people think?
Well, we might need you for this one because it's, or do we not?
We'll definitely need your input. I don't know if we'll need, if we'll need it on the fly in the meeting, because I'd rather you take some time to think about
Yeah.
the questions we're going to ask. Um,
Think that there's going to be questions that are going to come up during the meeting that you would then need me to research, you can just email me those questions after the meeting. If you think there's also going to be things on the fly, I would want to be here to be able and be prepped and be ready to have that conversation. I don't know what the planning board will have on the agenda that night, so there's always the opportunity to
Run back.
go where I'm needed or run back and forth.
Or isn't sacred either.
Sure.
So, you know,
Yeah, we can meet later, earlier.
that time of year, I can.
We can
go
do
into
noon.
I could go into the workday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Chris,
we
can you do
like
that?
Noon.
I'm not sure how Josh and Shannon, how they
Might
could,
be-
Oh,
Yeah,
Shannon,
Shannon.
Yeah.
to the School,
to school.
yeah.
I'm flexible. I could do later. My intent would be to circulate questions for Karen and send them to her ahead of time. So that we can have the benefit while we make some of these decisions of her input and research.
I'm just worried about us making a decision and then she's like, that's a bad decision because legally we can't figure that out.
Yeah, but I also don't want to put you on the spot in the meeting, so we could make a decision pending your review and
Yeah, my advice would be this, is if you do have things that you want me to research, things that wouldn't be necessarily be things I can advise you on the fly, is just to give them to me ahead of time, have me research them, and then I would prefer to be here, not having to worry about another meeting. I would want to be here fully. So in that case, I would advise you probably you want to pick another date that I'm not potentially having to be at the planning board.
But if you're here for
Yeah.
another meeting, we could do it that day, just earlier, so.
Absolutely. Earlier or later works. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Can we suggest, does Thursday the 9th work? At
So
4?
far, I don't have anything.
it works.
That's land trust. Yeah, so I mean, so we would be in the
But you don't have a
vault, but we
conflict.
could,
You're-
but we
you're
could,
not land trust.
I could do I could run a Zoom through, my laptop or something like that.
You do it in the vault.
At 4 works, yes, for me, huh? At 4 on the 9th.
Thursday. October 9th.
Someone's gonna have to remind me. That's too far out.
And so,
Thank you. Yeah,
on that agenda, it's going to be a very detailed, so I don't know how you want to do this.
I think we should dedicate it all to
Yes,
this situation.
And I wanna
get
have-
other stuff out of the way quickly.
I want to have detailed questions that we're going to
Yeah.
propose and potentially vote on and whatnot. So we can work the details of that.
Can't even do a consent agenda.
I wanted to ask about the meeting on the 13th. Before I got on the housing board, there were a group of us that were promoting affordable housing, and we did a meeting at the school, and it was packed, I would say, relatively speaking. So we're going to have to do outreach to the community. I feel strongly that we should. So we get people to come in here and tell us what they're thinking. So we're responsive to the community. So I think this is not just should not just be a meeting with the town council. I thought this is going to be a community-wide forum.
No, so the meeting, the meeting on
Talking about.
the meeting on the 13th is sponsored by the Block Island.
Well, that's Byra.
That's the Block Island residents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's not going to be here,
Yeah.
right?
That's on a Saturday, Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just like.
Yeah, this is it's not an official, it's a BIRA thing.
Okay.
They requested that they wanted to have a BIRA housing forum.
Okay.
So they
Sorry.
requested our participation and the housing initiative's participation and BID's participation. They're asking someone, I think they were going to ask Jen Brady to give a housing
Got it.
overview.
Yeah, okay.
The feedback was, the fallback was going to be Cindy. Cindy doesn't know that yet, but no, you didn't. But I think Jen said yes. Um, and it's sort of an open forum for anyone who wants to come and receive some information and then ask questions.
Have you heard of anybody actually knowing about this, or has it just not gotten out yet?
I have no idea how
Yeah.
Byra is
Okay.
handling the outreach. What I told them is that,
Should we ask Byra if it's okay that we promote it?
sure, I think it's perfectly fine, but I'll ask, so I've been dealing with, Susan,
3 weeks, right?
Susan Bush. Yeah,
Is she the chair of Byra
Uh,
or whatever?
she is
Close
the,
enough.
she's been the point person
Okay.
for me anyway. So I'll ask her and we can promote it. Yeah,
Typically, it's, we'll start generating stuff like 2 weeks out.
yeah.
So it still might be a little,
You know what time?
Three is coming to mind, but I don't know for
so
certain.
that's Saturday, September 13th.
I have it at 1,
Oh, you do? Okay, so
but I could be wrong.
I have to be there, but I, I don't know what time it is yet. Um,
Well, might be an avenue also to just, put out there I mean, obviously a little bit about the project, of course, but the website and the, donation platform. So if we can have that up and ready by that time.
Yeah,
Is that realistic, Chris?
I don't know. I asked Visionary if they had an invoice ready to ship to us for the work to date. And he said they were working on that. I don't really know exactly, now that we've had this discussion with them, how close they are to completion. So I can't comment on that without
Right.
any certainty.
It would just be, I mean, obviously,
Be
I guess
great.
we all know that it would be great if we could do that. It's because I think the group that would be there is going to be more of the interested homeowners versus who may have
Needs for housing.
and may have money as well that were willing to contribute to the project or to the initiative, and it may not necessarily bring in the people who are looking for housing, but
so a big part of I know the housing initiative, a big part of their effort's going to be pushing their donation for the 513s, their funding of 513s, but also they're going to announce a new program. I don't know what they're calling it, but it could be lease to locals. So they're going to have this, a new initiative they've been working on, and they're going to talk a lot about that. So their target audience is going to be homeowners who have something available and can lease to locals year round. Unfortunately, I think one of their sales pitches is going to be the taxes just went up, so it might be more attractive now. So anyway, I think
Did
there's,
you give a tax break?
I don't know. I don't know anything
the
more.
Taylor Swift tax you would be exempt from. Does it make-
If you rented it to a
If you
local,
rent
would
it,
be exempt?
no, if you rent it for over 6 months
Right.
of the year.
Oh,
I don't think they're giving any additional tax breaks, but they get by the short-term rental taxes, the new short-term rental taxes. And that's about all I know about it. Frankly, I think it's still,
that's
Still
only
be-
a separate structure.
yeah, I think it's still being worked on. So, but anyway, their target audience is homeowners, but also people who are looking for places.
I mean, legally, if you have a second structure, you're not supposed to rent that separately and live in the main one. Unless it's a 513. So it's not like they're doing it already. See what I'm saying?
That's true.
Correct.
Like,
I-
they're, like living in their house and renting that weekly.
Yeah, I
They're
think,
not doing that. So
I think there's some sort of I don't want to comment any further because I don't know enough about it, but I'm sure they're trying to be legal about it. But yeah.
One of the concepts that I had rethought was, why can't people go move into their, I'll say accessory building, and as long as they're renting to what we call a year-round resident, and meet the term of that, why can't they rent out their house? For people that are downsizing, as you get older, I've asked other people about this, and it seems attractive, and we poo-pooed that. I think when we were working with you, I was definitely not for that. Then I was like, why am I against this? So anyways, that would help with this type of thinking.
Can I recommend that we put that on a future agenda? Obviously not the October one because we really, and then just because we're kind of talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
way off the agenda now, but I think it's a really, would be a great thing for us to maybe to potentially get behind.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know the
No-
details, but yeah,
November.
let's go into the details and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, just, and
Yeah, let's find out
about
what
the
it's
five, yeah,
gonna
like
be.
ADUs, and right now, if you're renting them year round, then maybe you can live.
Yeah.
You can still live in one and have one that's
Because I think it will, oh,
Implication of that whole issue for the general population would be key.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yep.
still a lot of confusion
Yep.
about what's the intent and how does that work out in a practical situation.
and I've already told them that, well, I've said, I'm not sure we can support that because we don't know if things are affordable. We have no idea if whatever they're doing would be affordable housing. But we just, so,
By affordability.
No, they're not, right.
standards, But I think that the general market would control that. you
sure.
know,
But we have other requirements like long-term leases and things like that. So,
One thing I think for this meeting for the 13th, I think it is important for us to have a larger scale poster board, if, I don't know how one does it, of the engineered drawings so that the layout of the buildings could be seen, so that people actually get a visual of how the buildings will lay on that property. The floor plans, of course, are still up for discussion, but I think it's important, for people to see how it will lay out.
do you want us to produce that? We can produce that pretty easily.
I think we should.
Okay,
You
all
know,
right.
that we should be promoting that project.
Yeah.
And explaining what our goals are for that project.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And if you want, if you want to take the information and condense it to like a 1-page flyer kind of thing to go with that board, we can do that. I can work on that.
I think we already have some of that stuff
Do we
in
have
the
like-
town meeting. We had a one pager and a packet,
yeah.
like an 8x11 handout. Yeah.
Just be-
And then we can have a blow up one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're getting a little bit,
Put the new logo on.
great idea. Okay. Builder bids. So at the last meeting, we talked at the architecture meeting, we talked about modular bids.
Mark, I have one more finance issue.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
When you go, okay.
I
sorry.
skipped it
All right.
to come back to it last.
All right.
Sorry. All right, builder bid. So I'm going to recommend that I send letters out to, formal letters out to our existing bidders, our 3 bidders, asking them to update. I'm then going to send letters out with our old or an updated RFP to some of the new bidders that you found. And then I think we should do a new RFP release for a quick turnaround, just to get it out there, not allow a long time, because we sort of know who the interested bidders are. We just want to know if they're going to do it again, and just get it out there on maybe a 30-day turnaround. Just to reinvigorate folks and to know that our existing bidders might be there might be competition if the RFP's out there. So I think that would be a good idea to try to move this process along. How do people feel about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cindy, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's important to, those guys have already done the work. They will just have to update their figures, which is good. And theoretically could happen in a short time frame, theoretically. I still feel that it's important as we are spreading the net wider to be asking modular companies what models they might have
Already.
that would fit our needs.
So I will modify the RFP that way.
Because my concern is that,
Like,
we already put those things out to bid and it was way too expensive.
Yeah.
So it's only gonna be way too expensive plus, given
Yeah.
the passage of time.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I'll also put that in the cover letter.
you know, if you have something similar to this design that's already been designed by you all.
Right.
Please present it.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, the RFP has all the drawings in it, but I'll make very clear that we will accept alternative approaches if you have something that fits, that is already modeled by you, that
Yeah.
fits this need.
Production.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if we're flexible on the floor plan,
Yeah.
what we're not flexible on is the footprint.
yes.
And so given that footprint, they might have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, a number
Yeah.
of things that
Yeah.
are in their portfolio already.
So in these modulars, are we basically asking for the shell and interior walls to be completed? And then others would come in and do the appliances and painting and, the finishing work?
I think it's all different.
The way it's worked before, they were responsible for the whole exterior shell.
Yep.
And of course, you can upgrade your windows,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
doors,
yeah.
insulations,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. They, some of them will give you an appliance package,
Right.
others will not. But the whole interior, floors, bathroom fixtures, cabinetry should all be part of their package.
And we had those items in the RFP,
Previous, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So we'll include all those again. But I think to answer the big picture question, Chris, is that we expect the modular people to finish the projects,
Okay.
hire their own subcontractors to
Right.
do the interior work and things. Do
Okay.
you think otherwise? I mean, that's how that's how we set it out before.
Well, per our last meeting's discussion about not discounting stick built, because there were some things that we were supposed to do that haven't been done. We were to approach Interstate to see if we could get donation of the modular buildings ferried over as a donation, tax deductible donation. Sans that, stick built, if we just asked for the shell and the interior wall finishing, I don't have a feeling that it would be more expensive because of, if we don't know, if we have to include the shipping cost of modulars, which we have no idea what it is, we really still don't have a complete picture of our alternatives and which are most cost effective. So I really think we need to do a lot more work on this.
Well, we had those costs in the previous bids. In fact,
Right, but we
one-
didn't have stick built. We didn't have stick built.
No,
We-
because no one bid it.
Yeah.
Right, things have changed. It's been 2 years. I don't know if that's still true.
Well, like I said, we're going to release the RFP. It's stick builders could.
Could, okay,
Do it.
we're not gonna tell people it has to be a modular.
No, not
I
at
mean,
all.
If we could
Yeah.
find something.
All
that
right,
we could-
question's been answered.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not-
Okay,
not-
that's good for me. I was very concerned about this.
Yeah.
Because again, I think of the macroeconomics of how this town makes decisions and the utility company and land trust. They never seem to consider the economic impact within our community and how much money actually leaves this community because of the way they do things and how much more could stay in this community and be recirculated. And I think it's extremely foolish not to do that. So I'm
Yeah.
for at least considering, an on-island contractor, qualified, of course, to be part of the bidding process if they so choose to be.
So I will send it specifically to one stick builder who approached me and said, we can do just as good as modular. So yes, we're not going to
Okay.
dictate it
I'm
to be
sorry.
modular.
All right, thank you.
Forgotten, the 2 houses on Coast Guard Road were stick built. And it was done by Ben Martin.
Yep.
With, under the close supervision of Doug Michelle. And he did a great job, it was a great job, but he really did sharpen his pencil for us. I hope he had his shirt on when he was done. But I think it was a great project. It's just, if the stick guys can be competitive.
All right, so the final thing I wanted to discuss under this issue is financing to close our gap. So I think, the big picture is if we build these, well, we don't have the final numbers yet, but even if we use our old numbers and bump them up by 25%, we could build all of these things. If we sell them all, we could build them all. And we could do it incrementally, build for the buildings, sell them, and then build the others. Or we could get bank financing to close the gap in the interim. So that's something we have to consider. And so what I would like to do is start at least initial discussions with banks about this concept. I've been talking with Rob Grant about this. He's working up numbers for us. He's also had a lot of experience with banks on this. We can also talk with Church, who's been very helpful to us. I think, frankly, that's the best approach, is to go the bank financing so that we can do all of the buildings at once and then go from there. But I just want to see how people feel about that and whether they're comfortable with me approaching, having some initial discussions with banks on financing.
I would just relay to the board here that Church and Rhode Island Housing both did not think we should do this project in parts.
Exactly. That's
So
All at once.
from their learned experiences, I think bank financing is one of the main ways that we can close our gap.
So I'll begin those discussions. I'll work with Rob on those and potentially others. Rob has already told me that, look, you're going to need very detailed plans, including what numbers, how many you want to sell and whether you're going to rent some before a bank will seriously consider you.
So I think in order, we've talked about this before, to get over that, I've talked about it before at our meetings. I think if we sell all of them, it doesn't stop us from buying one, or the town from buying one, or the water department from buying one, and that still pays off our bank, but then gives housing to the town entities
Yes.
first.
Yes.
So that's, I think, maybe where we make the project work.
Yep. I agree.
Where all of them are sold.
Yeah.
We buy one or two or whatever,
Or
and
we
those are
maintain-
rentals.
We maintain ownership of it,
Yeah,
which also still keeps us in the condo association mix.
Yes.
Which I think,
which
Is
is a good
important.
idea, because then we can say, no, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Violating this, or, and then there is an authority in there.
I agree. See,
the numbers are.
see how much help we need, Karen? Good.
I think that's the way to sell it all, and then it's sold, paid
Yeah.
off, and then we maintain.
We
them.
retain.
I think it's a great idea. So,
Retain to sell, to rent.
Yeah.
And in the model of, Cherry Hill, when it's a sale model, we saved enough money, we bought the land, owned it free and clear, save enough money to be able to put in the infrastructure. We're pretty damn close at this juncture with cash on hand that we currently have
yes.
to cover our
Mhm.
whole infrastructure.
Yep.
Including the foundations, I believe.
Yep.
So once that's in, then we borrowed money from the bank to actually build
Build it.
the houses. And then when we sold the houses, that equaled the amount of money that we owed the bank,
Mhm.
wiped out the debt, start all over again. So there'll be a shortfall, if we don't sell them all. But if it's a manageable shortfall between the rentals
Yes.
and the income that we make over the year,
Mhm.
we might just, have the numbers work.
And when,
I do think we need to change, I don't know if that's this conversation now, but the rules need to get changed on what you can do after this.
yes, that's an important point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of this stuff, these are all the
Stepping stone for someone out here.
These are all the,
Been to an affordable house someday.
Yeah.
Or,
So the-
single family.
these are all the issues I want to have in
Yeah.
the next 2 meetings. I want to
Yeah.
make sure we address these and come to a final, probably by the end of October, come to a final on all of these
Yep.
things. so that we can move forward. Though separately on this, I've been, I'm waiting until after August when it slows down a little bit, but I'll have a meeting with Mona and Amy about the bond issues and how we administer those and how some of that money actually ends up in our accounts so we can pay people. So I'll have that meeting as well.
I mean, and maybe we collaborate with another housing group to help people with down payments and, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
We sort of all sort of work together to get these sold to people that want them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Rhode Island housing is pretty good.
Yeah,
In that.
yeah.
They do have that program. They do have that program. It's just that the funding comes in after the,
Educate people when we're trying to sell them about that they can.
I do think we need to, speaking of that turnkey program we discussed last time, I
Right.
think we should initiate an application for that. As Chris just mentioned, it comes in at the end, but that will help us with the bank.
we have the
If we
bank,
say
yeah.
we have approval on that, then at the end, we can say, here's some of your money.
And it wasn't inconsequential. Some people poo-pooed it and I was like, not in this board. I was like, I think that's material.
50K per unit,
It's a lot.
so. Okay, all right, anything else?
I wonder, I mean, this might be a reach, but if the Block Island, the new grassroots organization, Block Island
Housing initiative?
The Housing Initiative, yeah, thank you. You know, they were offering the 50,000 for the 513s, the ADUs. Maybe they'd be willing to offer that a similar program, you know, for first-time home buyers for our affordable project.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it before. Most people can afford, they just can't afford the money for the down payment. That's usually what, you know, stops everyone from doing it.
There's a lot of, not a lot, but there are first-time home buyer programs with zero down,
Yeah,
you know. if you
but then
qualify.
your payments more and,
Yeah.
you know, like the bank has to, you have to have that amount of money in your account for
Right.
mortgage for the year. Like there's all those, you know, with
Yeah.
the down payment, less restrictions when you're not zero down.
Okay, anything else on O'Brien?
Yeah, on finance, I had mentioned, I'm pursuing a grant
Yep,
with Wells Fargo.
yes.
And so, I didn't want to submit it, without everybody being aware of it and being okay with it. I don't know, with the Fidelity, I received, approval and we know what happened there. I did submit the sequence of communications with Fidelity, so it's part of our record, to Keisha. I think it's important that we have that. Wells Fargo was a lot easier. And so I have it in final form. I estimated $222,400. And it was to be dedicated to building energy efficient structures using the techniques that church community uses and a few other types of approaches like that to lower the overall operating cost of those units. So I have it ready to go. And like I said, it's much easier than Fidelity's. And I just wanted to see if anybody had a problem with me hitting the send button tomorrow morning and seeing what happens.
I don't think so, but just let me, so let's say we get a bid back from, I don't know, let's say Avalon. And they propose to build these houses or the buildings for X amount, but they're not the most efficient. Could this grant then be used to make those more efficient?
That was the idea.
Great,
Uh,
okay.
And the techniques that church uses are highly contractor dependent, but in this case, it would be subcontractor dependent. So their methods, anyways, we would require them to use this type of subcontractor skilled in this area to do this.
I don't know if it's the same, but every time someone's tried to use Wells Fargo for a purchase in Block Island, at the last minute, it doesn't go through.
Well, hopefully this is a,
But any buyer that's ever used Wells Fargo, there's some
Huh.
sort of tick that happens with the island because it's unique and small.
I had a
and they-
mortgage
so
with
I-
them.
Matters.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It comes out to $13,900 per unit that we're asking them to contribute toward that grant. So, and they do grant affordable housing. I just have no feeling for what is their, granting amount. But in the search, so I did another AI search, there's organizations that are Rhode Island based that we haven't approached, like Champlain's, the Rhode Island Foundation. They're not out of the woods and that we are not qualified under their operating guidelines. So anyways, I would like to keep pursuing these grants to try and close our gap.
And does it apply,
You think?
does the whole building have to meet a certain standard, or could the grant be used for like solar, for instance?
Well, okay, so we would do a trade-off, right? Because we have a solar grant from the Rusa Foundation.
Yeah.
And we have energy efficiency appliances from the Rusa Foundation. So I think I don't want to say bait and switch, but we could move money around.
Got it.
I
Okay.
think everybody we would be fine with that.
All right. Okay, final item is number 8, approve the annual report. This has been ready for a couple of months now, but I just keep forgetting to put it on the agenda. So I'll make a motion to approve the annual report, which will get rolled out, by the way, next May. So,
I was like,
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. Annual report is approved. We have one closed session item that will be, I'm going to call it strategy acquisition that we're going to address.